Good morning, everyone. It's Jana Martins here, and our 10th episode of Reboot Your Tech or Reboot Your Tech Mind, a place for creating a positive habits. So we are getting together every Tuesday morning, 7:45 a.m. for a quick practical tip to kickstart your day in the tech world. So in each episode, we'll focus on one exercise from a range of topics, including goal setting, stress management, productivity hacks, positive affirmation, breathing techniques, mindfulness, and so on. So whether you aim to reduce your stress levels, stay motivated, or enhance productivities, we got you covered here. So let's reboot together this morning and hopefully create some positive habits. So it's a really quick live stream, just under 15 minutes, but please still introduce yourselves in the comments and feel free to ask questions. If you don't have time to answer it live, we can always take it offline. So today we'll talk about effortless excellence and how to leverage your innate ability at work. So, productivity, energy, enthusiasm reduce when there is a misalignment between your natural strengths and your work methods. So it's not always about the tools you use or the task at hand, rather than how well your inherent abilities are integrated in your work process. So Glenn, we're gonna talk us through it in more details. So over to Glenn. Glenn, please introduce yourself and let's dive into it.
Yeah, morning, Anna, and morning, everybody. So thank you for the opportunity to present this morning. So in looking at the other reboots, I wanted to do something different. And what I noticed was that we haven't done anything around leveraging our innate abilities to how we work. Now, before I became a productivity consultant, I actually spent 20 years in IT. So I've seen good technology, and I've also seen bad technology of how that's applied. It's typically around change management, and it's an awkward fit. So what I do is I help leaders and teams regain 100 minutes a day. So we're looking through a productivity lens in doing that. So I'm just going to go and show my slides here. So today's talk, I called it effortless excellence. So leveraging your innate abilities at work. And some of the results that I've got sitting up there, that's what my customers get from my productivity coaching and training programs that I deliver. I love being benchmarked. So I love of getting a stake in the ground and then seeing what the level of improvement is. And the idea of productivity for me, it's a lens. It's not only just to do more, but to do things easier. Very quick little bit about my history. In 2006, I had an international job in IT, looking after Southeast Asia for a US company, working anywhere between 60 and 80 hours a week, traveling 2 out of every 3 weeks, and I actually burnt out. So after I recovered from burning out, that's how I got into using productivity of that lens in helping us work easier. So the big idea that I've got today is to question, is there a disconnect between your preferences and how you work? When we think about how we work, we usually land at something because we've been to a training program, we've tried trial and error, we've seen someone else work a particular way, and they say, hey, this is how you need to do it, but they may fit and they may not fit. And we often get to a situation where we actually give up, we don't explore any further, and that's either working for us, so it's fine if it is, but if it's not working for it, that's where we have some challenges. So how do you understand your preferences? And I actually think a great spot to look is not the work environment, but to think to your personal life. So do you have a favorite hobby or a pastime? And if you have
I can be a guinea pig, so you can ask me. You can ask me this question.
Yeah. So what's your favorite hobby or pastime then, Jana?
Surfing.
Surfing. Great. Fantastic. I'm jealous already. So when you've got a favorite hobby or a pastime, if you don't have that, and most people do, then do you have a garage? Do you have a favorite room? Do you have a favorite cupboard? People say, How can you have a favorite cupboard? I know what my favorite cupboard is, the pantry. It could only be one cupboard that's a favorite one. Um, but
Or a fridge.
um, or the fridge, yeah. And when you think about your favorite hobby or pastime, and I want to use a customer of mine, Jamie, as an example. So Jamie's favorite hobby was she loved to paint. She actually had a painting room at home. So these were painting with an easel, and she called it her sanctuary. She could go in there and not think. And when I asked her how were the paints stored, how was everything, she had a really, really simple filing system. So she had these tubs that had the colors of the paints, the type of paints. So she had 3 tubs. She had everything set up, and she'd get in there, wouldn't think about anything else, and just get in her creative mode. When I posed the question to Jamie, I'd say, so what would happen if someone was to come and rearrange everything? She'd said, I wouldn't cope. So what she had this simple filing system. She was sitting here in this section. So I like to think about, do you like a summary version, or do you like the detail? Do you like complex, or do you like simple? So Jamie was in this very simple environment that she had, and it just worked for her in a painting room. When it came to, and Jana, with your surfing gear, I'm going to assume you've got your surfing gear all in the one spot.
Yes.
Yeah, very simple, easy to access.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
All
Fantastic.
is in the same spot, so you don't need to think. Yes.
You don't need to think about it. So when you have a look, your alignment to how you work, is how you prefer to do things aligned, or is there a disconnect? And you would be surprised how many people have a disconnect with that. So if I look at Jamie's situation, so she likes something that was quite simple, easy to access, much like Jana's surfing environment. What she had at work, she had something quite complex. So Jamie was working extended hours, so working back every night. Her email was an absolute disaster. She couldn't keep up with her email. She was suffering from email overwhelm. And what she had was that when I looked at her email, she used Microsoft Outlook. She had 85 plus folders. I actually stopped counting. There were so many folders there. So quite the opposite to what she had with her painting environment. So she's got 85 plus folders. She had over 200 outstanding red to-do items, so past due to-do items. And then she had 298 emails in her inbox. So she was confused whether she was inbox 0 or did she have some form of structure in place. So everything, it was really poorly designed, and it wasn't adding, all this detail wasn't adding much value. Whereas what she really liked to do, she wanted to be over in this area here in the green. So what we did is we were able to summarize Jamie's folder system from 85 plus down to 15. We're able to put a workflow in place, and we're able to put some automation in place. So we made it very, very simple for Jamie as to how she could access her emails and have a workflow. And she no longer suffers from email overwhelm, because all we did was that we got alignment between how she preferred to do things versus how she was doing things. So all we did was we went back and had a look at this. So when you think about technology, technology originally started off as being very inflexible, but now technology is quite flexible. So what we want to be able to do is add our preferences in and say, how can I get better alignment in how I work? And the way to do that, I think, look at your favorite hobby or pastime, look at your garage. So my garage, I'm one of these people, I've got the rakes hanging up on the walls. I've got everything organized in my garage because that works for me. It may not necessarily work for everybody. And
And if you have a mess, in your garage, that means you don't have any folders
yeah,
in your emails,
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
just do the search button.
absolutely. If your garage is a hot raving mess, then if we try and give you some structure in your email, it's probably not going to stick. So productivity. So a lot of my customers, or not a lot of my customers, some of my customers, that's how they work, because it just works for them. So it's about getting the alignment. That's the key that we're talking about. So um, I hope you got some value out of that today. It's a really, really simple productivity hack, but it's something we shouldn't ignore. If you want to get in contact with me, there's my contact details. I'm on LinkedIn. I post 3 times a week, and would love to hear from you if I could help you with anything productivity. If you too would like to reclaim 100 minutes a day, because there's a whole lot of things that we do additional to this, where you can actually get more done in less time and have less overwhelm. So thank you, and thanks for the opportunity, Anna.
Thank you, Glenn. I think it's a great example because even I think with these reboot sessions, we talk about different productivity hacks or time management techniques, but not everyone works for everything works for everyone. I always feel like it's good to, like look at the different techniques, try them and actually see what stick to you. Because it's exactly, what Glenn said. If someone advised you to have like this 50 folders and organize everything by name and folder, you probably will, if you're not the detail oriented person, you probably will struggle just put it in those folders in the first place, and just takes half of your time just reorganizing it. And I'm sure you will all know these 2 types of people: one that like have a completely mess in their computer and always look like use the search button, and people have like every folder there, name,
Yep.
dated, and that's a preferable way to find things and stuff. So yeah, the great examples. And everyone who's on the line here watching the replays, put your hobbies in the comments. Would be interesting to see your hobbies in general, but also have a thing. Yeah, here's my hobby, like how do I organize that? So if you could put it in the comments, that would be great to see um, what kind of hobbies people have and how they can draw the line from the hobbies to their work style.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to reinforce what you're saying, Yana, one size doesn't fit all. So that's why we want to be able to manage it as best we can, so work becomes easy. The work doesn't become difficult, and because when it's difficult, that's when we get overwhelmed. Disorganization for me, I just stop. I grind to a halt. I need a level of organization, but that could be quite different for somebody else.
Exactly. Or time when you work. Everyone out there saying, wake up at 5 a.m. and do everything before breakfast. I'm like, if I if I do things before breakfast, I'll be asleep after breakfast.
Oh yeah, because like 5 a.m. is an absolute classic. That depends of other people in your house when they go to bed. If they're keeping you awake till after midnight, you're probably going to struggle with the 5 a.m. starts.
No, 100%. Thank you so much, Glenn. Thank you for bringing this different perspective to today's stream. And as usual, guys, if you enjoy this video, make sure to like this video. That encouraged me to keep going. Obviously, join our panel discussions every Wednesday, and join us every Tuesday to get a dose of positive vibes and helpful tips. Check the replays of the previous episode, and obviously subscribe to this channel to get notified about upcoming events. And everyone have a great Tuesday afternoon. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.